Okay. Human nature is designed to break rules. So once you put rules in my face, all I'm doing is planning or thinking of how to break the rules. Dating is like going to a buffet, right?
Okay.
And sampling every meal.
Okay.
Oh, I like this one. Oh, I don't like this one. Oh, I like this one. I don't like this one. By the time you're done, nobody can eat the food anymore. When a kindergartner who is 5, 6, 7, 8, we're already encouraging him to buy chocolate for his girl in his class, that is a problem. When the shows he's watching on TV, one mouse is kissing another mouse, that is a problem. The point I'm trying to make is this, guys, is that we don't realize that the problems that we have with the streets, as they are called, didn't start on the streets. Right? What we're seeing in the streets is a manifestation of something that started way back before people became eligible for the streets.
Unfiltered.
Hey everybody, welcome back to PF Unfiltered.
What up?
I'm one of your co-hosts, Esther Griffin. We have Tunde.
Say my last name.
Makinjola.
Isn't that like...
Oh my God.
That was terrible.
What? That was so good.
Okay, she did the best she could.
Makinjola.
Please, don't...
Abby? What is it?
Just call him T-Max.
Yeah, just call me T-Max.
Oh, yeah,
Or call me... just call me Olatunde Oladapo.
Hey.
Makinjola.
Oh, what I say? Makin. Oh, Makinjola.
All right, let's move on.
And then we also have another special guest with us, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rosalind Anoha.
Rosalind won't be on camera,
Yeah.
but she's going to be chipping in on some of the things. It's hot tea today.
You know
Hot
that
tea.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego story where there were 4 people in the fire, but they only... Yeah, this is the same. So you're not going to see Rosalind, but she's there.
No, but what's his name? What's that guy's name? Nebuchadnezzar. He saw the 4th man in the fire.
Okay, I was trying to... Okay, Esther, you're right.
No, because we don't want to tell bad story.
And we are
He
joined...
saw him with his eyes.
All right.
Can we?
Let's
Let's move on.
And then, of course, we have the best, the most important person in the room, Mr. PF.
I don't know about the Muslim.
Yeah, I thought she was going to say Jesus.
Yeah, I think Jesus usually. We usually say Jesus.
Yeah, usually. Well, those that know...
I mean, this podcast is about you.
To be fair, it is PF Unfiltered.
It's PF Unfiltered.
No.
And you're quite unfiltered, sir.
In my culture, this is what they say when you put Igbo weed in somebody's pocket and they call the police.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I say,
I'm sorry, PF. What is that again? Igbo? I don't know what that is.
Bush.
Bush? Okay.
Marijuana.
Thank you. Marijuana.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay. Yeah, Femi Montayo. Hi. What's up?
So this podcast is going to be so good because it's about what we all like to talk about, dating.
I don't like to talk about
I'm about to say what we all like to talk about.
Listen, this is like factual. Dating content and like marriage content are some of the most viral.
To be fair, that is a good point.
Because
things that people love to discuss. But really, we want to talk about this is because it came up. It comes up a lot within our church, and so we kind of want you to address it. And it's really around having boundaries around dating.
So you already started with boundaries.
Listen, because people be out here doing whatever.
Yeah.
Just no boundaries.
What is whatever? What are boundaries?
They're loose.
Loose. So we want them to be tight.
They help me.
How can I after that?
I don't understand because I'm just sitting down here and I'm listening to...
I can't after that. Well, what I was thinking more also was pre-marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dating boundaries in terms of, the things you should do or not do. I heard something about the traffic light rule. I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know if this is the thing.
Wait, what's that?
So there's the green light, which is like holding hands or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the yellow light, which is like, I guess sleeping. Hugging.
Okay.
And then there's the red light, which is
going down fast.
So I feel like the framing is already extremely problematic, right? Because you're already starting from a failure mindset, do's and don'ts, right? You can't approach things as a Christian, being led by the Holy Spirit, and the first thing you want to do is make rules.
Okay.
Human nature is designed to break rules. So once you put rules in my face, all I'm doing is planning or thinking of how to break the rules.
Now, you're not saying, just to clarify, that pre-marital... Okay, actually, let me not... Sorry. Let me relax.
Yeah.
The way you stood up.
like you have to put me in trouble, but I'm ready for you.
No. Because I grew up in a church that was very, very vocal about premarital sex, and understandably so, right? It's something that you should. But they were very.
Are we talking about dating or premarital sex?
Dating, sorry.
Okay, so let's talk about dating.
Sorry, let's talk about dating.
Because if you reduce dating to premarital sex, you're thinking about his do's and don'ts.
Sorry, by the way, I want to make a quick disclaimer. If we do end up talking about anything in terms of like sexual relationships,
your discomfort to this topic gives
no, because I don't want, in case you are listening to this on,
I just want to be
children
clear that
around
married.
you.
Just FYI, guys, and he already has a child. So
again, I want to make the disclaimer in case the listeners have like kids around or they're at work or something, because we have a lot of fans. This is the fastest growing podcast, etc. By some sources.
AKA T-Mac publications.
Right? So I'm just saying, like, in case, someone's listening in a place they probably shouldn't be.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's like a not safe for work episode. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like, carry on.
Okay. So in terms of dating, not boundaries, how should we date as Christian? What does that look like?
Don't date anybody. Chastise yourself.
Rosie, can you talk to these people, because I don't understand what's going on here.
So sorry.
Okay. So I think we need to reframe the question.
Okay.
Right? What we're talking about is how people proceed from being single to being married. Right? That's a conversation I'm open to having.
Okay.
Right? Dating is one way of doing it.
Okay. Right? What's another way then?
Courtship?
It's another word.
It's still dating.
What is dating?
It looks like many different things.
I have a problem with what you people call dating. Dating is
few people.
Dating is like going to a buffet, right?
Okay.
And sampling every meal, right?
Okay.
Oh, I like this one. Oh, I don't like this one. Oh, I like this one. I don't like this one. By the time you're done, nobody can eat the food anymore.
So that's not what I consider
sampling,
dating.
But not getting into like premarital sex. You sampled like
so this is the problem. Okay, this is the problem.
Okay,
this is
sorry. I just want to make sure
this is the problem. You meet somebody and you say, I like you. I'm thinking of marrying you. Let's go out and get to know each other. You go on a date. I don't like you like that. Go. Then you do that with someone else. And then you do that with someone else. And then you do that with someone else. Everybody is messed up. Everybody suffers rejection. Everybody is emotionally jaded. And everybody is dealing with the next person from a place of rejection and pain and fear. Yeah. That is why the streets are the way they are.
So would we call that dating?
That's what they call dating. And that's not what we should be doing. Right? And that's why I use the word buffet and sampling. Every time you go and there's already a dish there, and you put your spoon in it or whatever, and you bring it out. The thing is you've contaminated it.
Someone else can come and eat from the same place. It's just dirty.
Yeah, you've contaminated it.
Yeah.
So you've got a situation, right?
I don't like the way this sounds. Okay.
I know how it sounds, and I'm sounding it like that intentionally. I'm saying this deliberately, right? We have a bunch of people, male and female, who are operating as single people from a place of fear, right? And from a place of pain. And so we've got a mess. And the culprit is the system, the process by which we're going about it. Before the advent of dating, we did not have such a jaded, cynical population like we have now, right? In the past, people got married. Families would take care of the arrangements. Your son, my daughter, your daughter, my son, right? Kids grew up together in communities, right? They got to know each other and then they paired off, right? As a consequence of knowing each other. They went going from person to person, breaking hearts, right? Now we go from person to person, breaking hearts, leaving a trail of tears in our wake.
Yeah.
And so a girl goes out on a date with a guy and, she doesn't like him, right? But they've gone out on a date. They've said to each other, we're checking each other out, right? And then you reject the guy or the guy rejects the girl. Every human, look, all our trauma, childhood trauma, comes from our avoidance. We're trying to avoid rejection.
Yeah.
We live in fear of rejection.
Yep.
The fears of rejection are heightened by the dating process. So the next time you're going out on a date, right, after you've been rejected by the first person, right, what kind of mindset do you have? Right? You're not going on that thing with an open mind. Right? You're going there with like, okay, do you know what? What mistakes did I make the last time? I'm not going to make those mistakes again. Right? And I'm going to deal with you before you deal with me.
What causes that? Because you said it's
rejection. It's the way the system functions.
So it's really our upbringing, our conditioning that...
No. Our conditioning has already created in us a fear of rejection.
Okay.
Right? For many of us. Right? A fear of emotional pain. Right? So we built coping mechanisms around ourselves to avoid experiencing the pain of rejection, the pain of abandonment, the pain of whatever. Okay. Right? We're dealing with insecurities, we're dealing with self-esteem, we're dealing with confidence issues. Then we get to a certain age and say, well, the way to cross from your newly single state to being married, which is something you desire, is to run over this pathway full of broken bottles and hot coals. Right? People enter it with a lot of fear and trepidation.
So then how do people date then? How do we even get to the
point? Do we have to date? Do we have to date?
Then how do we cross over then?
Yes. Can we do it the way they used to do it?
Back in the good old days.
Explain to us, because we don't know.
Okay, so let me tell you what they used to do. When people lived in communities, this is one of the fallouts of the deterioration of communities. When people lived in communities, when boys and girls grew up as part of communities, they got a chance to observe each other, to get to know each other without breaking 20 hearts first.
What about when you go to college?
What do you mean when you go to college?
Okay, so I grew up in a community with somebody.
Right.
We go to high school together, all as well.
Right.
I go off to college somewhere.
Right, and you get to know the person. Right, you've got to know the person. You know this person. You know what they are like. You know their likes, their dislikes. You guys were friends. You guys
in high school.
In high school, right? And then you went to college with this person.
No.
I see.
You left this person at home.
So now you see where the problem starts, right? Then there's this division, college. You go to different colleges, right? The people you meet in college.
No, right? But we weren't even dating in.
Just leave dating.
Okay.
Leave the word dating. Dating implies a stepping away from the crowd to check each other out.
What about boyfriend, girlfriend?
No, just leave that construct out.
Now.
Okay.
Right? Because that's the thing, right? I'm trying to say to you that the problem is the toilet. You're saying, well, how is it going to flush? Flushing is attached to toilets.
Yes.
Do away with toilets.
Okay.
Let's find another way to deal with the problem.
Okay, no problem.
Right? So when you talk about dating, boyfriend and girlfriend, right? You're still stuck in the same construct. Right? And I'm saying that construct is a problem. It's a reflection of the isolationist society that we live in. Right? Everybody is on his own. When we grew up, and it was already getting bad in our times, right? We were in a community. And you have this in church. And this is why parents sometimes do themselves a disservice by not encouraging their kids, right, to be in church. Yeah? Grow up with people, right, without any romantic or sexual interest.
Yeah.
Where we're just two human beings, right? I will get to know you and you will get to know me. And when you get to know me and I get to know you, then we can make a choice based off of what we have observed of each other, right? We can prayerfully make a choice. We don't have to go out on dates and eat together and then say, well, actually, I don't like you like that.
Wait, please.
That is what a date is.
No, but I need to expand on this. This is where we are today as a society. So what do we do?
We don't have to accept it, is my point. We don't have to accept it. We can create an alternative universe for ourselves. We can say, I am not going to do this. I am not going to do this. I'm going to hang out with, I'm a pastor. So we have all these groups in church.
Yeah.
We serve together in church.
Yeah.
Right? All the folks, and again, you see, this is the irony of it. The people who are complaining the most are the people who are it's like they have been, what's that word? When you see somebody's mind has been controlled.
You're hypnotized?
Oh.
No. Yeah. They've been
bamboozled.
Brainwashed.
They've been hoodwinked.
Brainwashed into accepting the very thing that causes them the most pain.
Yeah.
If I say I want to get to know you in the context of a friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is my right, even in today's world. I want to have a ton of friends.
Right.
I want to have a ton of, if I'm female, I want to have a ton of male friends. If I'm male, I want to have a ton of female friends. People that I know without any, corrupting emotion. Because once I start checking you out, right, or you start checking me out, right, if you do not go with me, I'm going to feel rejected.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said, I want to be friends. I have tried that friendship with guys before. They don't want to be friends. They have other motives, or they start off like, yeah, we can be friends. And then you start seeing their...
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's part of the corrupting influence. That's part of the corruption. That is part of what we're seeing, right? Where people are so sexualized, right? Where people think only in those terms, right? That we can't really get to who you are. My point is this, yeah? We need a situation, right? And I don't know how possible this is, ideally, where people are... I've got two dogs, right? When you get a dog, they tell you have to socialize the dog. You have to let it be around other dogs, right? And when it's around other dogs, then when it sees a dog, as it gets older, it's not hostile or belligerent towards other dogs. We live in a hypersexualized world, right? From very young ages, our children are being indoctrinated. And it's not about the homosexual agenda or the transgender agenda, right? Even the parents who are heterosexual don't realize that they're indoctrinating their children, right, to always be thinking about sex.
In what capacity? Can you elaborate on that?
Our preoccupation with romance in everything, right? With kids who are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 celebrating Valentine's Day, right? What are they doing with it? What do they know about it? We introduce boyfriend and girlfriend into the conversation so early in it, right? Parents can't keep their hands off each other in front of their kids. No. Don't get... I'm trying... Wait, what I'm trying to say is this. What I'm trying to... Hear me, and I'm really serious here. Here. We introduce this thing, which these kids are going to have to deal with, but they are having to deal with it at a much earlier age. Innocence is being lost very early.
Okay, so, in the Nigerian American community, and especially in the DMV, something that is a consensus around, like, a lot of us that grew up there, was that our parents don't show affection to one another.
Yeah.
So this is the problem, right? This is the problem. My parents, I never saw my parents hold hands. I never saw my parents kiss. I never saw my parents hug each other. But I never felt like they didn't love each other. Again, you see, this is the thing, right? We have defined affection, right? We have defined things in a way that we don't realize everything has impact, right? So Rosie just said she tries to be friends with guys, right? And it's true. Very quickly, you find out that all they want to do is sleep with you. Where did that come from, right? Where did that come from? There was a time when we were growing up, right? And again, I was not a saint, but the idea of sleeping with a girl was not something that comes into your consciousness until later in the cycle than it is now, right? Now it's entering the conscious, and where is it coming from? When we were growing up, and I don't mean to sound like an old man, though I am, but and we thought we were bad.
Yeah.
The idea of sleeping with somebody did not come into it until you are entering high school, university, and even then, it's you're a bad boy. Like, you're a bad kid. Like,
okay,
you're the kid who is going to get kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
Right. I get it.
Now, right? Our kids are in kindergarten, entering their first grade. And we're already talking about your boyfriend and your girlfriend, right? Yes. Again, if you are sexualized at 15, it's very different from if you are sexualized at 7, right? And then, okay, people are going to be laughing at me as I'm saying this, but I'm saying it anyway because I'm going somewhere. What I'm saying, the Bible says, train a child in the way that he should go. And when he's old, he will not depart from it, right? Our children are exposed through... When we were growing up, the only cartoons we saw were Tom and Jerry. Right? Now it's Oh my God. There's so much out there.
I mean, and to personalize it real quick, I don't want to use your train of thought, Pierre, but for me, I feel like my background was the opposite. And not that
you were sexualized that too.
No. Just the other side of it. I'm not saying what your point is the extreme. The other side of like, you're not nothing. Mm-hmm. You're not seeing any affection. Mm-hmm. You're not, you better be in church every single day. I don't want to hear get, not even girl, get from you. And for me, all that did when I eventually got my freedom was, for me, pushed me into that world like so quickly.
Right.
And I'm not saying your point is the extreme. I'm just trying to.
No, I hear you, but I think that yes, it's inevitable that if you are dealt with a heavy hand, right, and it's not just that you're dealt with a heavy hand, is that all of these things are bad. It is bad. It is bad. It is bad.
A terrible person. Right?
You know, then you now have a curiosity about these bad things, right? When you get your freedom, right, as opposed to. Nobody's talking about it. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just not a thing.
Right.
It's just not a thing. We're not hiding anything.
Right.
Well, it's just not a thing. We don't paint romantic relationships as negative. Right? It's just one of those things like, oh, are you ready to pay rent? Then you're not ready to have a girlfriend. You know, you put it in its place. Right? You don't diminish it. You don't belittle it. You don't make it sound dirty. Right? But you put it in its place. Right? We don't do that anymore. And this is where it leads to, right? If you go on a date with somebody, you show up as your best self.
What about when you're dating that person?
I'm sorry?
What about when you're dating that person?
As your best self. You always show up as your best self.
Put your best foot forward.
Put your best foot forward. You don't go on a date as you really are.
Yeah, but after time, you can't pretend.
You can pretend.
Entire time?
You can pretend for a long time. Do you know why? Let me tell you when the pretense stops. The pretense stops when we start living together. That's the only time I can stop pretending, when you are there 24/7.
I can agree with that.
Before then, oh my God, it's so easy to pretend. I know I'm going to see you at 4:00, right? Get my game face on, and you're going to leave. I will tolerate you. I can suppress my worst instincts when I know there's a beginning and there's an end, right? So you don't see me, you don't know me, then why are we doing this thing?
So you're not saying that this current generation that is in that gap of
they're in
dating,
trouble.
They're not, well, you're not saying they are doomed. You're saying yes, they're in trouble. So no, because
I'm saying that their system is built to frustrate and to fail rather than to succeed.
So what's the
alternative?
Well, yeah.
Let me give you an example. The alternative is, let us live as a community.
How?
Right? Wait first now.
Wait.
I'm assuming that a lot of people who are listening to this go to some church. Right? If you are in church, be a part of that community. Right? Make friends in that community. Make it clear that all you are interested in is friendships in that community. Get to know people in that community. Let me tell you something. When somebody thinks you're not interested in them, they don't pretend in front of you.
Right.
But to Rosalind's point, PF,
people only pretend for people they think are checking them out. Right? So a woman will wear makeup, right? Because she feels like, I want to look attractive to you. As I am, I'm not attractive enough. So I'm going to put on all of this stuff, right? And I know I'm oversimplifying that. I know makeup is a lot more complicated than that, right? A guy will, money that he will never spend on himself, right? And when you get married, he's not going to spend it on you. He will put it in his pocket to take you out on a date. And he'll spend it because he knows that, don't worry, once I catch you, before you see this kind of money again, you will hear about it.
That's crazy.
So the number of people who end up feeling like they were deceived, right? It's ridiculous. That's why we have the divorce rates. Pastor, this is not what I expected. Oh, really? And the guy said, oh, do you think I expected this? Everybody is lying to everybody. So when you're talking about dating, do you see my problem with dating? Yes, tell me more.
But I have so growing up, right? My parents did not want me to be around boys or any, like, it was forbidden. And then I go to college, I'm having my freedom, all that stuff. But still, study your books, get your degree, all
and
that
then when
stuff.
you get to certain
and then
age,
when I they're like, where's your husband?
So your parents,
and it's like,
your parents are part of the problem. Your parents are part of the problem.
You guys never taught me how to.
I apologize.
Apologies to Ross's parents.
Your parents,
it's just an example.
Your parents are part of the problem. They made boys look like if he touches you, you get pregnant. If he brushes on you,
some boys they go touch you like this no more.
You see all of these things. You know the irony of it. You know the irony of it, right? Most of our parents, right, didn't grow up in that kind of environment, right? Sexuality is human. At a certain age, you hit puberty. That's all you can think about. It's just the way it is.
Okay, so would you say then that is sexualization?
No,
because
that
when
is
you get
the
to
natural progression
of
our growth process.
Okay,
right? But when a kindergartner who is 5, 6, 7, 8, we're already encouraging him to buy chocolate for his girl in his class, that is a problem. When the shows he's watching on TV, one mouse is kissing another mouse, that is a problem.
Is that Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, that's Tom and Jerry.
Oh, okay.
Jerry had a little girlfriend.
So this is the point I'm trying to make
is, guys, is that we don't realize that the problems that we have with the streets, as they are called, didn't start on the streets. Right? What we're seeing in the streets is a manifestation of something that started way back before people became eligible for the streets. That's my point.
Right. And again, just to circle
so what
back
is the solution?
Right.
The solution, as I was saying before I was interrupted, right, was that let us get back to living as communities, right? I was talking about the folks who are going to church, right? And who maybe I don't know where you can find community, but find a community where you are that's why I have a lot of single women around me. And one day I was talking to one of them. It's like, she doesn't want any friends. She has enough male friends. I said, you see, you are the problem. You are the problem. That means that any guy who comes to you,
already DQ'd.
Think about it like this. If every conversation is about directly or indirectly, are you an eligible spouse?
Right.
How real can that conversation be? Can I be honest with you?
Not really.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, this fine girl, man, I like this girl, man. Man, this girl is going to make a good wife. So I am going to do everything possible to frame myself in a way that she will find me acceptable.
Makes sense.
And she's doing the same.
Right.
And then we get married and we do it for like 6 months. But it's not sustainable.
Until you get tired.
Then the real you, who is like, wait. Why do you have to have your birthday dinner at the most expensive restaurant?
Because why not? We're back
that's
here
when that's when the person will now tell you that listen. I did not come to this world to work for you to be eating at expensive dinner. But when we're dating, you took me here, you took me there. Oh, we were dating. This is real life. The number of times that I have dealt with people in my office on those terms is ridiculous.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I don't know you. What do you mean you don't know me? We dated for 2 years. It's easy.
Yeah, but I don't like PF. Like, baby, shout out to you. Because when I met my wife at the time, I wasn't spending that much bread on her. But after we got married, the bread.
No.
Very sharp.
You know, if you know, you know.
This is what I think. This is what I think.
So you're the opposite.
Hey, I guess.
So lucky wife.
Hey, tell her. Can you say it again? Look at that camera, please.
Lucky wife.
Thank you very much.
You're a lucky woman.
Just saying.
No. I couldn't resist that. This is what I'm trying to make. Find a group. Find a community. Remove this thing. I know it's on your mind. But just try and just get to know people for people.
I think sometimes
and let them get
hard.
to know you as a person.
I agree with that. But what do you say about like the physicality of like being young, wanting to get married because of, for example, sex drive, right? Can you speak to what Paul is talking about when he talks about like if you are burning, then you should go ahead and just get married?
Paul was not thinking he was talking to 30, 40-year-olds.
No, but he was talking to 23. So, yeah.
He was talking to how old?
Like maybe like 23, 24.
No, he was talking to people much younger than that. Right? your sex drive kicks in at what? 16,
Yeah.
17? It used to.
Well, it depends on,
It
you know.
used to.
It used to, but these days now, with all the hormones that we're drinking cow's milk, you know, we're drinking...
My pastor, let's not talk about this conversation.
No, wait now, guys. Wait,
no, I'm just...
Where our sexual instinct is being activated much earlier.
Right.
Okay.
Right? So people are becoming sexually conscious before they can be relationally responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which creates a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Was it like that then?
It wasn't this bad.
Yeah, because there was, I think there's a case for modernization. I think there was some things that they didn't have back then in terms of social media.
Right?
It's not even social media. The problem is not even social media. The problem is social media is a big problem.
Right.
Social media feeds it.
It does.
But even the food we eat, right? The chemicals we consume.
Right.
So girls are starting their periods at 10. 9.
7.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's back to like that progress.
It's not progress.
No, because
not progress. It's actually a what's the word? Regression.
But even still, how do we deal with it?
But
can I be honest with you? There is no answer to everything because the world is in a downward spiral. It's wrapping up. We're getting to the end of the show, right? When Christ is going to come back, right? So the nations of the world have been judged. In the last days, men will be lovers of themselves. The love of many will wax cold. You know, as knowledge increases, self-centeredness and selfishness increases. That is the unfortunate irony of eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Wow.
Right? It does not bring life, it brings death. So humanity is on a trajectory of death. So we see a falling apart of all our institutions, right? We see a falling apart of community. We see a falling apart of relationships. We see a falling apart of marriage, right? And it's inevitable, right? But the truth is this, yeah, if we're talking about solutions, we have to be able to say, well, this is the problem, right? If we can identify the problem, then maybe we can find a solution. We don't have to keep trying to work within the paradigm that the world has set for us. The world says that this is the way you connect with people. Go on dates. If you don't like them, go find someone else and go on another date. What the world doesn't tell you is the emotional state it leaves you. So now you've got people who are 31, 32, 33. They've been on so many dates. They don't want to go on another date.
But what about guard your hearts? How
do you guard your heart? You go out with somebody and the premise is, do you like me? Don't I like you? And then, well, I don't like you like that. How do you guard your heart from that? It's so clear.
It's a realistic problem. And I guess what I'm hearing you say is that we should not oversimplify it by jumping too quick to a solution. We should understand the severity of the problem.
Yeah. Understand the severity of the problem. Understand the nature of the problem. Right? The problem is not men. The problem is not women. Right? The problem is the system is rigged to blow everybody up. Right? And I'm not trying to be an anarchist here by saying, let's blow the whole thing up, but let's blow the thing up and say, do you know what? We're not doing dates anymore. We're doing relationships. Let's get to know each other outside of these romantic connotations. And then I can see the real you. And I can see the real you. And if I like the real you enough, then I come and tell you, I like you. Let's spend the rest of our lives together.
But that can be difficult when you have a sex drive.
Okay.
I mean, I had so much to say, but what was...
Yeah, no, it's easy. This one that we're doing, okay, so this one with our sex drive now. No, I'm hearing you. This one that we're doing now is not working.
It's clearly not.
It's not working now because now what we're doing, sorry, I'm not trying to...
No,
What we're doing now is we're giving opportunity for our sex drive to run rampant. Yeah? So guess what is happening? Because we have to acknowledge the sex drive. Yeah? So we go on these dates. Yeah? And, we have sex with this person. And guess what?
Sex before marriage is a sin, no?
So is lying.
No.
So is stealing.
By the way, I hope you realize that in the Bible, there's no wedding.
Well,
people sleep together and they get married.
Okay.
So just when you say sex before marriage.
Yeah, but it has a culture. We have decided what...
you see the
morality
problems.
Versus righteousness.
That's the system.
You see the problems. The system is so messed up. Wait, guys, wait.
Yeah, we're rushing.
Yeah, you guys are funny. So hear my problem. Yeah. you're talking about sex drive.
Yes.
So we take our sex drive into this relationship, into this encounter, not a relationship, with this person. Basically saying, I don't know if I like you well enough, but you know what? I'm going to sleep with you. Right? Knowing that for men and women, sex has different connotations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even in this day when sex is supposed to be for women, it's just so physical, it's just physical. It is physical, but there is an emotional component to it.
Yeah.
Right? I found that women who get their heart broken, the pain sometimes is less when they have not been sexually active with the person.
Mm-hmm.
But when they have, the pain is intense.
The world is.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because that's oh yeah, that ghosting, that not returning your call, it's kind of like a divorce, right? Because when you sleep with somebody, you've kind of married the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And men, on the other hand, by the unfortunate animalistic at the base, at a man's base, at his most animalistic level, right? Sex is not like that for him. So they don't have the emotional meltdown that the woman has. So for them, it's easier to have sex and move on, right?
For them, it's just cho-cho-cho, right? For them, it's just cho-cho-cho.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a woman, it's a little bit more complex, right? And I'm not trying to diminish anybody. I'm just talking about the realities of it. It's a little bit more complex. So this sampling system that I'm talking about, all it does is leave a trail
of broken
hearts, wounded egos, right? And so we are dealing in this. So the streets, of course the streets go hard. The streets go, because the streets is full of damaged people who are damaging themselves. The system is a damage. It does damage. So I'm calling out the problem. I don't have all the solutions.
Yeah.
But I do know one thing, right? And I'm going to use myself as an example, not as a template. Please understand the difference between example and template. That's a small.
Yeah,
small
okay. You want me to open?
Please.
Okay, so an example.
Okay. I didn't think we needed explanation.
Oh, sorry. I got it. Sorry.
Okay.
They got it.
Because you keep accusing me of using big words. I don't know which one's a big word anymore.
Yeah, right. No, you got it.
I'm not a template, but as an example.
Yeah.
I was in church with my wife. We served in different ministries together, in the church for like 4 or 5 years. I got to know her without ever having a romantic conversation with her. I got to observe her through her interactions with other people. And from what I saw, I felt like this person would be a great partner to spend the rest of my life with. Yeah. Then I had a conversation with her. I wasn't testing her. I wasn't like, okay, let me see. No, I had seen everything I needed to see. And the whole sex thing, in my opinion, at the time, it never occurred to me that, oh, what if the sex is bad? Is that the beginning and the end of life?
I have a question. Weren't you dating somebody before?
No, I wasn't.
Esther, can you share?
No, so I was. No, wait. It's a fair question. Because,
I know, but
because as you are talking, that's how people will be saying this one. Esther, I got born again in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
My last relationship ended in 1993. Right? I proposed to my wife in 1990, either 97 or 96.
Okay.
That proposal was the first romantic conversation I had with her. And we got married in 1998. Okay. Yeah. So between 1993 and 1996 or 97, I don't remember the exact timing.
Okay.
I was not involved with anybody. Right? I'm just trying to say, guys, that look, there has to be a way. The goal of dating is for us to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it's not possible under those circumstances to really get to know anybody. And the problems are much greater than the benefits, right? Let's find another way. The way we did it was we lived in groups. We got to know each other outside of romantic settings. Nobody's fronting for you.
Going out to things with your community.
Yes.
People go on house parties.
Yes,
events,
exactly. So you're in a friend group. There are like 20 of you in a friend group, 10 of you in a friend group. We all know everybody in that group. Right. But guess what we do? We don't, when it's time to, we're like, okay, I'm lonely. We go and start looking outside the friend group. I know them too well. But you know them. You know that this is a kind guy. You know this guy will drop everything to come get you if you got drunk and you were out with your friends. You know that this guy has your back 150%, but he's not 6 foot tall. He doesn't make 6 figures and he doesn't have a 6-pack. Are you kidding me? You know this girl. You know that she's loyal. You know she's this. You know everything about her. But no. She's not a video vixen. So you
vixen is fine.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, I know what you're saying. I think from my perspective and my experience, realistically speaking, like I wasn't looking at my wife then and saying, okay, I wanted someone that was a video vixen, but I wanted someone that was attractive. Mm-hmm. I wanted someone that when we get married, I would.
Are you friends with people you don't? Are all your friends unattractive people?
Are all my friends unattractive? I mean,
I'm saying that we surround ourselves, our friends, with people that we have a certain level of comfort with.
Mm-hmm. Right. But because I'm comfortable with you doesn't mean I want to marry you.
Hear me. If I cannot be comfortable with you, right, as I am with my friends, I should not marry you.
I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
That comfort comes from trust, comes from knowledge, comes from time spent. It comes from trust, and the trust is based on, why would you lie to me? You're not lying to me, right? There's nothing. But you meet this babe, fine girl, right? But you don't know her. Right? You don't know her. You put your head inside. Yeah? And after 2 weeks, you're saying like, man, I'm not feeling this girl. Babe, I'm not doing Joe. I'm not feeling it. And the way you do it varies depending on your level of confidence in yourself. You can send her a text message, you can tell her to her face, or you can ghost her. All of them will have some kind of impact on her. Right? So the poor girl is not a victim, right, of your I want to marry somebody I'm attracted to. Yeah, wait now. She's a victim. Is she not a victim?
Not really.
She's not a victim?
Not really.
Her heart is not broken.
Okay, but...
so what are you going to do? That's the way.
But okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding this.
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Exactly. If this is before I met you, baby. Met a girl.
Before you met her.
And I'm kind. Mm-hmm. And we go out. I get to know you as friends. Because my wife and I say this thing, friends first, friends last. Mm-hmm. And then you say, what are we?
We're friends.
I say we're friends. You say, how could you have stringed me along? How could you have played? Because you gave me my husband benefits without the, right?
So the problem is the girl, then not you.
So when you said the poor girl, I started feeling some kind of way.
But you were not going. Remember now, you said you were looking for somebody you attracted to. So this was not about friendship. This was about attraction.
Right.
Exactly. So
she can discern it.
So your interest in her was not based on her character, it was based on her appearance.
No, I can be attracted to your character, nah.
That's not what you said.
No, I know, no. I said attraction. Maybe I didn't clarify what attraction meant. Okay. But I do think I wasn't looking for I wasn't looking for a video vixen. Yes, my wife. You said but I wanted someone that was attracted to, yes.
Okay, so it wasn't about the physical attraction.
No, that was part of it too now.
Okay.
Because I'm about to say Wendy is very beautiful.
Absolutely. I don't go my person no fine.
There you go. You see problem now.
No, but PF, there are some girls that would say, Tunde, you're a great guy, but you're not 6 foot something. And that's fair too.
The point I'm trying to make is this, right?
I'm not saying it's right, but it's fair, right?
Okay, good. The point I'm trying to make is this, Tunde guys, is that the friendships, right, are a critical component of a marriage. Okay. Yeah? If I cannot be friends with you, I should not marry you. Why don't we pursue the friendships first?
I agree. Okay.
And then from the people who have passed the test of friendship, right, we choose the people out of those who have passed the test, the people who we are then attracted to.
Yeah.
What we do is this. We find the people we're attracted to and hope to build friendships with them.
Move backwards.
Right? And again, I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is I'm not like, I don't feel you like that. So go back into the pool. So you catch a fish and you throw it back. But every time you catch the fish, you forget that you put a hook in its mouth and you throw it back. So the fish is walking around with wounds.
I guess
that's my problem.
Yeah, but I guess maybe it's the way I'm interpreting it, because one could argue that maybe I might have been that guy that put a hook in the fish's mouth.
But technically in that scenario, obviously it wasn't you, but
I feel like it's a little bit.
But it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Right. I'm saying it goes both ways. There are guys who go out on dates,
and women hurt their feelings.
And the girl is like, nah, man, you don't have a 6-pack. and she just ghosts him. He calls her 100 times, she doesn't take his call. And next thing he hears, she's talking about him, how he has no money.
He has body odor.
Yes, and she says all these really nasty things about him. And again, he then goes to the next date, all cologned up. He all his savings, he brings it to that date. But that girl, he's going to deal with her before she deals with him.
Right.
So again,
and I'm not trying to. I know we have to. I'm not trying to equalize. I'm not saying what's permissible. What I was trying to say was there are girls that I'm sure say, okay, Tunde, they would say things like, he treated me in a way which I felt like it was what you said, a hook in the mouth. But I was just being a nice person.
And it sounds like you're talking from experience.
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
I feel like you've been you suffered by being nice, and people said you led me on.
Yeah, multiple times, and it's like I won't say to that in that context that's a poor girl.
Then the problem then is the way the girl was thinking.
That's what I was trying to bring out, because I know,
and it's inevitable when already. See, the number of times I hate the idea of people come and ask me all the time and say, "Hey, PF, if you know any guys, or any girls who are single, connect me." And I struggle with that. Do you know why? I'll tell you why I struggle with it. I feel like if you meet somebody and the first conversation, marriage is on the table. The first conversation, marriage is on the table. It cannot be a pure conversation. Right? You cannot, I personally can never trust that person.
If the first thing they want is marriage.
If the first conversation is, are we potentially getting married?
That's interesting, because there are people in the Christian community that would say that's the only thing. That's what's important.
Well,
marriage first. You shouldn't be dating.
Well, then you don't understand what it means when somebody wants something. They will do anything to get it.
Absolutely.
There are men who have been told, right, by their mothers, by their community, that they must marry.
Yeah.
Right? And they've decided that, you know what, this my tough guy, I don't mess around. It's not going to get me far. So I need to soften myself. So they go on dates with women and they are super soft. Super soft.
But once they married.
They're real soft. I know, listen, guys, I know a couple, right? The guy led with his wallet, right? And he led well. This girl she was mesmerized, she was dazzled by the wealth and the generosity.
So he had it.
The minute they got married, auntie, that's not how we do it. Now we have to build together. We can't be spending all this money.
Okay, so I guess you said this episode was dating boundaries, right? And PF, I hear you when you said, okay, like leading with be friends first.
Yeah.
Friends first.
At least you have to be friends first.
Yep.
Honestly, can I be honest with you? So in summary, let me summarize.
No, summarize yourself. So that way,
so that was PF said.
Yeah.
Not when they said PF said. This is PF.
Yeah.
Friendship is a critical component of a successful marriage. Attraction is actually not. People change physically.
True.
I was trying to put on my shirt just now, and the button was stretching.
It was buttoning.
Oh, wow.
It stretched small. When my wife met me, this shirt would have been like a tent. The Lord has since satisfied me with fatness.
But PF, you're 42 years old. Like, you're getting old. Oh, sorry. Wow.
I'm slow.
Oh, okay.
I'm slow. The other day I was laying down in bed and I got cramp on my calf. My calf cramped while I was still shouting, AK, my thigh started cramping.
That happened to me.
The shouting. There was nothing attractive about it. Yeah. Oh my God, Jesus. There was nothing sexy about it. But that is the reality.
But she has grown with you as well. So it's both,
I'm trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, 2 of you.
So at this point, it is not about physicality.
Yeah.
It's about relationship.
Absolutely.
It's about friendship.
Absolutely.
So she helped me massage it and then she laughed. Said, oh boy, you don't old. And we laughed.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
We're friends.
Yeah.
So the attraction, is important. But the most important component is the friendship. So build your friendships and select from the people who have passed the friend test. That's the test, the friend test. Can you be my friend? That's what we should be talking about in dating. The friend test. Can you be my friend? If you can be my friend, then
you
can be my wife or husband.
So then once we become friends and I said, okay, this is the person I want to start something with, then how do we transition into that romantic? What?
That one you figure out. Well, that one. Nobody needs to tell you how to do that one.
But
your instincts will kick in.
He can say that he's not into you like that.
No. Let's say that we both found out that we are interested in each other, and now we're like, okay, this is we like each other, cool. So then that's when that
part is easy.
That part is easy.
I've seen a lot of
that
people
part
do
is
that.
easy.
And
so they're gonna just get. So we just say like, yeah, I like you, let's get married.
Just the mindset.
And
PF, in fact, I love. Thank you.
So PF, don't answer the question yet because that's supposed to be next episode.
Oh really?
Yeah, so good.
I need this answer
because it keeps them like wanting more. But actually, it definitely was supposed to be next. I mean, you can foreshadow it.
Okay, so
foreshadow it. Yeah.
So that conversation.
Yeah.
That is the first conversation I had with my wife, right? And it was I want to spend the rest of my life with you conversation. So once I spoke with her, we were engaged to be married, right? The first conversation.
So you didn't propose. You didn't get down on one knee.
That was a proposal. I didn't get down on one knee. Oh. See, and these are the kind of superficial.
Can we? This is okay. So we talked about
the difference was getting down on one knee or two knees or standing up, make to it. Yeah. That's how they get down on one knee and then they use that knee as a pivot to slap you.
This is great because we talked about the singleness of things. Now we're going to the marriedness of things, and I want us to like bring that up in the next episode.
We can bring it up in the next episode. But Auntie, one knee. 2 knees, 5
no
knees, no knee, don't mean squat, man. I can't remember the last time I went to the bank and they said, "Oh, Mr. Omotaya, you're 6 foot tall. Here's $1,000."
No, listen, let me tell you something. Even if he gets on one knee, he does it all. He can still come back and do rubbish.
That's what PF is.
That's what I'm saying now.
But you just brought up that did he get on one knee?
No,
I guess that confusing
nice.
me.
No,
what makes it nice? Why do I have to get down on one knee?
It's sensational. To your point, it's sensationalized.
Is this sense of entitlement?
Well, I'm a lover girl,
you are the prize, so I must get down on one knee.
Are we not the prize?
What prize?
You both the prize.
And me, I'm what?
We are the favor.
You are the what?
We are the favor.
Shout out.
You said it.
Thank you.
You said it. We are the favor.
I said it. You are God's favor to me, but I am God's purpose to you.
Ooh.
And we complement each other.
So you're not better than me. Why should
I never said I was better.
So why should I get down on one knee? Why can't you two get down? Let 2 of us kneel down and propose to each other.
I'm gonna be crying.
So that's again. Once you lead, then us two when we're saying yes.
Esther
Esther
in the Bible proposed to her husband.
Not Esther.
Ruth in the Bible proposed to her husband. Sorry, I'm just trying to make us.
Do you know the ideal? I get down on one knee, you get down on the other knee. So I'm on my left knee, you're on your right knee, and you accept the proposal. Not the one that you be looking down on me and saying,
great.
"Will you marry me?" And
that's what happens.
I do. That's not what happens a lot.
No, because she's so like, oh my God, her too. Because she's so in love, she just cries.
Can I be honest with you? And I know people are going to drag me for this. This whole kneeling down to propose to a woman makes you look weak and penitent.
This is it, guys.
I honestly don't do it in front of me.
If you want to know more about PF's thoughts on this, catch us on the next episode because this is gonna be good.
Seriously, why do I have to get down on one knee? This is why
share.
Somebody's going to stand in front of a door and say I should come and open the door. Is your heart paining you?
Yes.
Please, can we end this?
We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time. Appreciate the like, subscribe.
I'm in trouble now.
No. It's PF Unfiltered.
Kneel down on one knee.
Lie down, roll around.
Bring your father. Your father can kneel down with you and propose, please. I was just joking.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys.
We'll see you guys.
We'll see you guys in the next episode.
I was just fooling around.